So in this video, we're going to talk about the speed graph inside the graph editor. The speed graph and the value graph both can accomplish pretty much the same thing. It's just a different way of working within the graphs and a different way of visually seeing them. The value graph typically is a little bit easier to work with. The speed graph is something that's been around with After Effects for a long time, and it's something that I started on personally and that I find myself going back to more often than the value graph. But the value graph is definitely very, very powerful for what it can do. So what I have here is four boxes: pink, blue, green, and yellow. And these four boxes have keyframes set up. They all begin at frame 6, they all end at frame 28, and then they just kind of sit here. They also have motion blur applied so that it's easier to show kind of what's going on here. But I want you to take a look at what they're doing. So they all move over the same amount of frames, but their movement is all different. And that's because they're using different types of keyframes with the speed graph adjustments. So this first one here is a linear set of keys. And if I turn off the other ones, you're going to see what it does. It's just very flat in its movement, right? It just starts at 100% speed and ends at 100% speed. If you think about a car, the way a car moves, it doesn't, when you hit the gas on a car, it doesn't immediately go from 0 to 100 miles per hour instantly, right? It has to build up speed over time. So it goes from 0 to 100 over time. And then when you stop, when you hit the brakes, the car doesn't stop from 100 to 0 in a split second. It takes a few seconds for it to slow back down, right? When you hit the brakes, it takes a few seconds for that car to stop. It's the same way with animation inside of After Effects or animation in general. You never start at 100% speed and you never end at 100% speed for the most part. So this is an example of that. It starts at 100% speed and it ends at 100% speed. If I open the graph editor here, you're going to see that because I'm in the speed graph, okay? And you can see here, here's keyframe 1 and here's keyframe 2, right? And you can see here that the speed is 100%, right? It's from 0 to 100 instantly. 100 to 0 instantly. So let me turn off that graph editor. Let me go to box 2 and I'll turn box 2 on. And what box 2 is it is going an ease out. So it's starting at 0, it's building up speed. It goes, and I'll turn the graph editor on here. So this is why we can see it. So it starts at 0 and it quickly builds up to 100% speed and it comes right back down to 0% speed. And that's how that one works. Okay, so let's go back to example number 3 and let's take a look at it. This one starts at 100% speed, but it quickly slows down and eases in. And this fourth example here is it starts very slow. It's slow, and it gets faster, faster, faster until it slows back down right here. So let's take a look at all these graphs, okay? So let's go back to the first one. And the first one was pretty easy to understand. Like I said, it's 0 to 100 instantly, 100 to 0 instantly. This next one, and I'll select the position keys so I can see it. This is a great example of what's going on in the last two examples. So what's going to happen is when I select a key here, I have these handles. Now I can click, hold down shift and lock myself in. And what I'm doing here is you can see the influence is going from 12%, 20%, 30%. I'm making it go much slower out. And I'm influencing the speed here. And you can see here we're at an influence of 59%. So let's just make it 60%. Okay. And it goes out and let's take a look now at what if this was 100%? Watch what happens to the square. See how much longer it takes to build up that speed? Right here is 100% speed and then it comes right back down to slow down again. So I'm going to drag this out as far as I can. Let's go to 100% as well. Watch what happens here. So if you look at this, It's very, very slow, very, very slow. And boom, it's 100% speed. And you can see by the motion blur here what's going on. And then it's going to go right back down. And it's coming to a stop. Now, something else to look at with the speed editor, the speed value graph here, is that we have all these little tiny dots here. And these dots represent how much space over time this animation is. So you can see here, there's a lot of dots here at the beginning, a lot of dots at the end. That means that it's taking more time for the box to travel over this area and this area. But between here, here, and here, it's moving very quickly. There's only 1, 2, 3 dots here. So if we go back from here to here to here, it's very fast. Let's take a look at this one. Again, we can see the dots. So if we start here, the dots are very spaced apart. They're starting getting closer together, closer together, closer together, closer, close, 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 because they're getting slower and slower and slower here. So if I preview this, you can see that happening. It's quick and then it slows down. So if we go frame by frame, all I'm doing is holding down page down, lots of motion blur, very fast, very fast, very fast. And look at this curve here, slowing down, less motion blur, slowing down, 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 down. Motion blur is almost gone. Very slow and stop. And let's take a look at the last one here. This is the opposite example. So we have a whole lot of dots here at the beginning because our speed graph is going very slow here. And you can see as I move along this line, you can see what's happening. It's 0 pixels per second, 30, 100, 200, 400. It's getting quicker. These are per second, 600 per second. We're at 1,000 pixels per second, 2,000 pixels per second. Where are we at the very top here? We're at 14,000 pixels per second. So we're very fast here. And you can see at this point, we're also right here where there's very few dots and the motion blur is really high. And then we get right back down, slow down again. So the same example can be applied to things like scale, rotation, if we wanted to apply it to rotation. And just to show you how that happens, if I go back to my pink box here, I turn off my keyframes, and let's actually just reset this box. We'll go to transform, reset, we're back to the center, and let's do something where we just rotate it. Let's actually scale it up so we can see a little bit better here. And let's hit R for rotation, and we'll set a keyframe here, and we'll set a keyframe here, and we'll make it rotate 1 time. So right now, you can see we're in the speed value editor, and it's 0 to 100, 100 to 0. And you can see there what is happening. So we can either right click here and go keyframe assistant easy ease out, or we could have gone down here to the button and selected easy ease out. So now you see what's happening here, 0 pixels per second. We're building up. Here we're at 424 a second, all the way up to about 605 pixels per second, and then it quickly slows down. So slow, stop. So let's take this keyframe now, and let's say, hey, let's make it ease in to this keyframe. And now we have a little bit smoother action, right? So it looks really nice. We could change this up a little bit. We could maybe say that the speed that it starts at is going to go much slower. So it's going to start much slower, then go really fast and stop. We could do something again where we take this all the way, and here at the very center here, it's just going crazy with its speed. But here it's so it's slow, 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 and then fast, and then slow down. So that's the example with rotation. The speed graph is very powerful. Next, we're going to take a look at the value graph, and that's coming up next.